Can a man become a woman?
No.
No. What if it's a woman with a penis?
Both?
Is that people are laughing? Is that a dumb question?
Okay, hi guys, welcome back to the second part of this video. We saw what is a woman?
What is a woman? Can you tell me that? Well, you're at the Women's March. You must have some idea. Please, if one person could tell me what a woman is.
You are not here for women. We ask you to leave.
What is that?
I'm a husband. I'm a father of 4. I host a talk show. I give speeches. I write books. I like to make sense of things.
A woman is not anything in particular.
There is not one particular thing.
It could be many things to many people.
Some women have penises, right? Some men have vaginas.
I like scented candles, and I've watched Sex and the City.
Yeah.
How do I know if I'm a woman?
That's a great question.
You're not a scientist. You're not a gender studies major.
No.
How do you know that you're a man?
I guess because I got a dick.
Can a man become a woman?
I'm not a woman, so I can't really answer that.
Women only know what women are.
Are you a cat?
No.
Can you tell me what a cat is? You want to tell us what a woman is?
I'm a biological woman that medically transitioned to appear like a male. I will never be a man.
And so they go on the internet and they're told that all of their problems will be solved if they become a man.
So you worry that there could be a sort of social contagion element of this?
A teeny tiny bit, maybe.
It got me at 42. Your child doesn't have a chance.
And you're affirming it with hormones that have never been used in this way.
Puberty blockers, which are completely reversible.
Completely reversible.
One of the drugs used is Lupron, right? Which has actually been used to chemically castrate sex offenders.
You know what? I'm not sure that we should continue with this interview.
So you don't want to talk about the drugs that you give to kids, or?
How can they be removing the healthy breasts of 15-year-old girls?
There are masculine girls. There are feminine boys. What are we going to do about that? Carve them up?
How can this whole thing be happening, Matt?
I wanted us to have a safe place to be able to talk about this.
Part of me wants to ask why you care so much.
I care about the truth. I care about children. I care about the women who are having their opportunities stolen from them.
Is it transphobic to tell the truth?
The interview's over. Let's turn off the cameras.
Excuse me,
They're fair. I just wanted to know, what is a woman?
and you're not gonna find out.
Based on what I'm saying, would you ever want to move to America?
They say no, never.
I hope you enjoyed it a little bit.
We'll see when it comes out.
This documentary is doing very well. Like, anyways, Karen and I watched it. This is a very good documentary. But you know, Daily Wire is where it's actually screened at. You have to subscribe to it and pay for it and stuff like that. And you know, okay, there's that whole thing. You make your decision. But anyways, if I find that video, if it's still up, I'll link it below. And so Matt Walsh is asking people, what is a woman? Since that seems to be the question of the year. People know what it is and they don't want to say it.
Yeah, it's
really weird.
This is just part of the world is trying to, like I said in our last video, the world is trying to make us unisex. And they don't know, the only way they can do that is if they pretend like there are no differences at all.
Right. And they're adding things. So you have the non-binary. There's a part in there, you guys, where he went to Africa. He was like, well, since no one in America met, he's like, since no one in America seems to know what a woman is, maybe go overseas. So he went to Africa and he talked to some tribal people. If I can find a clip, I'll put it up. And it's almost like we were talking about this earlier. It was almost really embarrassing.
It's actually when
I was a little embarrassed.
I was actually waiting because I've seen that clip.
Me too. I saw
but
it.
actually, watching the whole video, and then when he got to that part, I actually started feeling a little embarrassed
about
to be,
America.
yeah, because I started feeling like, oh God, you're gonna ask people
These are tribal
These are
people.
like indigenous people. You know what I mean? And it's just like
they were looking at him like, what?
What if a man decides that his gender identity is woman?
Idro orna inne le nega wanna inkiro. A woman has its own duty, and a man has its own duty, and a lady cannot do the duty of a man, and a man cannot do a duty of a woman.
Can a man become a woman?
Kid molla rengro? No.
No?
No.
What about a transgender?
Okay.
Transgender?
Dorogid akide mo na ipibelega nyole merengro? No.
No?
It will look like if you want to become a lady but you're a man, you have something wrong in
Something
your mind.
wrong.
Something wrong in your family, something wrong in you.
What about if someone was non-binary?
Come again?
Non-binary? Do you know, like non, like someone is
you're not a woman, you're not a man.
Yeah, someone is neither. There's something else. Is that?
Idegro amana yi kide mayna yole peria gwan topis. He's saying we have never seen things like those. For a man, he has a penis. For a woman, he has a vagina. So we know this is a lady, this is a man.
What if it's a woman with a penis?
Both.
Is that?
Kide mayna begere ngiro entabo.
People are laughing. Is that a dumb question?
He's like, what about non-binary? He's asking them, and they were, translating for the, and it's like,
they're laughing because
laughing
it is
at us.
ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's just like, what do you mean? Like, you guys are supposed to be like the supreme country.
And
the richest country in the world. You're supposed to be all these educated people, and then you can't. What do you mean you don't know what a woman is? You ask the new Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson what a woman is. I don't know. I'm not a biologist. Really, you need to be a biologist, know basic biology. Right. You know what I mean? This is what's going in Supreme Court. Really?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like stuff like this has just become. When you look at the video, because it's all talking about transgender and transgender used to be a mental illness, body dysphoria or something like that. You know what I mean? And now it's just you are.
Yeah.
You're just a man if you want to be, and you're a woman if you want to be. They're giving young girls hormone blockers if they think they're a boy at the age of 15 and 13, and you know what I mean, and getting girls cutting off their healthy breast to look like men, and getting your colon or something changed to make it look like a penis.
It's like, what the
hell? It's just become, to me, a little bit overly ridiculous.
Because when we were younger, so back in the day, the normal times, when a girl goes through, or even a boy at that, but the girls right now, when a girl goes through an awkward stage in her life, usually around prepubescent, 12, 13, that's kind of weird ages, sometimes 11. There's this awkward stage that you go through as a woman, as a young lady, and I'm sitting there thinking back on my time as an awkward young girl, and I just went through the awkward stage. Like, it was explained to me that this is a weird stage. You're gonna grow out of this. A couple of years later, I'm different. I'm blossoming into myself. It's it's just you're going through life. Okay, it's growing pains. So now growing pains. You fast forward now, and people are not. They're translating the growing pains into that you have a disorder. Like you don't know if you're a girl anymore. It's like it's not just that you have some growing up to do anymore. There's no awkward stage anymore. There's just something's wrong with me because I'm in this weird time, and now I need to change who I am. Now I'm a boy.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I must be.
How can it be this popular?
I must be a girl. I must be a boy. You know what I mean? It's just also social media has made people more.
Awful.
Even with our last show, I think that's another reason. Is that social media has made people, to a point, have to perform. You know what I mean? All the time. And, you know, I haven't been on social media in quite a while now. I haven't been on, I mean, every once in a while I go on Instagram. And the longer I stay off of it, the more weird everybody looks.
You would go back on
and then I go on and think, why are we doing this? Betty White said something on Saturday Night Live when she hosted it. She said, I've been doing this Facebook thing. And I think, she said something, I am paraphrasing now. She was just like, she's like, I look at this Facebook thing we're all doing and I've tried it and I think, what a complete waste of time. Right. You know what I mean? And the truth is if you stop doing it for as long as now I have stopped doing it, it is a complete waste of time. Unless it's like business, what you're doing business, sitting around taking pictures of your coffee, your legs, your feet, it's really you know weird. What I mean? Always putting something up, after you haven't done it in a while, it does seem boring and stupid. It's a waste of time.
I think it's making us weird.
And I think these kids are, you know, are being trapped in this like cycle of needing to be accepted. And when you go through puberty, you are wanting to be accepted. You're going through a really hard time in life. Every young person does. You know what I mean? And you're getting hips, but then you don't have any breast.
Yeah,
you know
it's a weird time.
You're weird body shape because your body's becoming a woman.
We're not allowing these young people to go through that though.
But now it's like they go on these little chat groups and they tell them, you know, oh hey, you could be a boy. That's why you feel this way. And kids are going along with it. Not only that, celebrity culture. Jennifer Lopez just called her daughter the other day them, they.
Y'all, I just saw that. I was like, what?
She's now calling her young daughter, who's what, like 14, 13, something like that. And she's saying, and they came over to talk to me the other day, and I was like, stop it.
Who was the other one? Tori Spelling. Tori Spelling's daughter or son? Daughter, I think. She's also non-binary or transgender or something. She's one of those.
Charlize Theron. You know, Charlize Theron, Madonna, Dwayne Wade's child, and what's the name? Megan Fox now has her son walking around in dresses. You know what I mean? Her little 3-year-old son. It's like, what are we doing here? The doctor on What is a Woman, the sane doctor, not these ones that are what they call you know.
She was so simple,
confirming or affirming people's gender. Not those doctors. The one that was an actual doctor, and she was just like, it is like 1 out of 350,000, and then out of a bigger group is like 1 out of 500,000 that you will ever be transgender. She said all of these kids that are now coming out like that, these celebrities and all. She said this is all by design, and there's something's very wrong. This is not right. These kids do not believe this. What they are lost in the internet. They're lost in their puberty, and they want to be accepted because now it's now it's cool. They're making it cool. So now all these kids are doing stuff like cutting off their hair. When they had long, pretty hair, and they, you know, kind of making themselves look more like a boy. You know, getting tattoos all over their face, making their hair blue, green, purple, rainbow.
Have you seen people now? I mean? Have you just seen
that girl that had her eyes tattooed?
Yeah, her eyeballs. It's like, have you seen people now and how? I mean, we just look like a lost society. And I hate when they say, you know what I hate? I hate when they go, why do you even care? Just mind your own business. Like, why do I care? Because you have young people out here. Young people
are going to ruin their lives with
are
pills.
very impressionable, by the way. They go with what they see, and that's in general. Social media didn't help, but just kids in general without social media. Very impressionable. So when they see these things, they think there's something wrong with them. They want to be part of a group. Most children, most young people want to be part of a group. We follow when you're young. You do. Everyone follows.
You know, puberty blockers at Planned Parenthood. They just give these kids puberty blockers. If they say that, and it doesn't take much. You can say that you feel like a boy.
Parents can get in trouble for
we don't know the long-term effects of these medicines.
No, we don't.
These could make these kids sterile. You know what I mean? It could, you know,
it used to be 10-year studies, and now it's not 10-year studies.
Now these are the guinea pigs.
Yeah,
these little kids, these young kids today, they're the guinea pigs. We don't know 10 years from now what's going to happen to these kids when they're grown up, and then they want to try to have kids, and then they can't because they've been taking puberty blockers at the, you know, and they've got different doses, and you know, the kid can make up their own dose. They don't have to get parents' permission.
And if a parent doesn't misgenders their child, it's abusive. That's abusive.
I think it's weird that you can go to Planned Parenthood and get puberty blockers. And, you know, they already are the abortion, you know, center of the world, of our nation. You know what I mean? And now they're, you know, doing stuff. I just think that we have to pay attention more.
I never thought when I was watching this documentary, I never thought there would be a time where we would be sitting here asking ourselves, what is a woman? I never thought there would be a time where a woman, just a biological woman, which Karen and I, will be called cisgender. We get the new word. What are you talking about?
You know, just going places and they go, what are your pronouns?
Oh my God, we were taking an Uber last week, and I just looked down at the Uber, and the Uber lady's pictures up there, and then her name, and then underneath there, Uber now has a thing where it says her pronouns were she, her. I was like, oh my God, Uber.
You know, it's funny.
No.
And when you watch this,
her.
when you like watch this
What?
video though, you'll see him talking to like professors, and you'll see him talking to
very interesting.
You know, politicians, and you'll see him talking to these
important people
that affirm your gender. You know what I mean? And all he really asks, you know, tells them, he just asks them, what is a woman? And then they can't explain it. And then when he presses them on it, but with common logic or something like that, they get really angry and then threaten to
interviews over.
And it's a lightweight. Like Matt is pretty sarcastic and pretty, you know, tough. But in this video, he really isn't. He's really just asking the question, and it triggers a lot of people who think this way. You know, to get really upset and angry. I mean, he even talked to a politician that just didn't want to answer the question. He got mad and got up, and he was like, I just want to know what a woman is. And then his advisor says, and you're not going to find out today. They just don't want to answer the question. And so that's what really bothers me, is that these young people are being taken advantage of by grown-up people who are screwed up mentally. And by that I mean professors in college, because college is mostly left-leaning now, and by doctors who are calling themselves affirming doctors. Who've been to college are telling kids that, if you feel like a boy, you probably are. So here's some puberty blockers.
There's a guy in Canada. Was it Canada was happening? He was, his daughter, I think his wife and him, they're divorced, I believe. But his daughter was, she felt she wanted to be a transgender. She wanted to change genders. And so she was wanting to start that process. Her mother was agreeing with it. And so she was taking her through the process of doing that. The father was trying to stop it. I guess they called him from the hospital. The doctors called him to bring him in on it. And he said, no, absolutely not. You're not giving my daughter any blockers. It's not happening. Right? And so the daughter, needed him to affirm her. And he said, absolutely not. So he stopped the whole thing. He ended up getting arrested. He ended up getting arrested for this whole debacle. He got arrested for this.
And Jordan Peterson became really famous for was because at a college in Canada, also, I think he got fired as a professor.
He did
because he wouldn't
change
pronouns. He wouldn't use the pronouns. And they have a law there that says basically he challenged it, saying you can't tell me what I can say. You can walk around saying you're a man if you're a woman or whatever you want to say, but you don't have the right to tell me I have to then be a part of your delusion. Or I'm fired.
Right.
And so he got a lot of flack from that, and it was a big deal, and it kind of made him famous because he pushed back, and a lot of people agreed with him, and I agree with him.
I
don't care what you do in your personal life, but you don't have the right to tell. Like people say that about racism. Should a Klans member be able to call you the N-word? Yes. It's freedom of speech.
No one said freedom of speech is good speech.
No one saying it's going to be good speech or bad speech. But what I'm saying is, I don't have the right to police anybody's words.
Right.
You don't have the right to tell somebody what to say.
Right.
And so this is the thing, is that's what's happening with all of this. You have to affirm me.
Yeah.
It went from let us live our lives. Let us live our lives and don't get in our bedrooms and stuff like that to now if you don't agree with me and you don't affirm me, then you're a bigot. And I'm sorry, I can't go along with that. I think that the greatest part about living in a country like ours is that we have the freedom to live how we want, and I like that freedom.
Right.
In a way that's a very libertarian way of thinking. A lot of libertarians think that way. Live how you want.
Yeah.
I don't care who you sleep with. That's none of my business at all. But I don't have to live in your delusion.
Right.
And you don't have to live in mine.
Right.
I'm not telling you to tell me that you got to call me a girl or guy or anything.
But now, now laws are being created to penalize us for misgendering or not doing the pronouns, and so I'm like, what? So I don't understand how that works.
And see, this is why Ketanji Brown this is why that was such a big question when she was asked, "What is a woman? What is a girl? What is a woman?" And that senator asked her that, and then she said she didn't know. The reason why is because laws get passed based on people the way they think.
Yeah.
And so she's going into the Supreme Court with the ideology of, I don't know what a woman is. That means she's on board with this
this whole
thing.
whole
And then
pronoun
we can eventually get laws that tell us that if we don't participate in someone's life, then we can get lose our jobs.
Yeah,
we
it's
can
true.
lose access to things.
Use your
And
children.
that's just, right. There's a person on there that
she thinks she's a wolf.
She says she hangs out with wolves. They have a school that the kids are meowing.
Yeah.
In the class, and the teacher can't tell the kids to not.
To
They'll
not do
ask
that.
the class. They'll ask the class. The teacher will ask the class a question, and then the girl will raise her hand and she'll meow it, and the teacher can't say stop. This is real
because that's abusive.
You know, that's abusive.
That's abusive. That's
because she identifies as cat.
That's child abuse.
There is a school that I read there. There's a school that has in the girls' bathroom a litter box. In a high school. You understand where we're going?
We have to. If you don't affirm everything every child person says, then there are consequences legally that you can be faced with, and this is the problem. And this was the whole thing with the reason why he's asking the question, what is a woman, is because the people who are wanting to transition into being a woman, these are transgender women, they're transitioning to that. A lot of them are not. They're saying they're women, and women, biological women, are saying you are a transgender person. You transitioned into the appearance of a woman, right? And so I'm not even downing you for that. I'm saying do what you got to do, right? But the fact that you know when you say this, like you say that you're a woman, I think women are starting to be like, well, no, wait.
I mean, even the doctor. Remember the doctor he talked to? She does sexual reassessment for young people.
Yeah, right.
And he said, so you're that person is a transgender woman.
Right.
And then he said, you're a trans. She said, no, I'm a woman. She said, I have what did she say? She said, I'm a woman, but she said, I have a transitional background though.
You see
what? You know what I mean? He's like, you're a transgender. She's like, no, she said, no, I'm a woman. But I do have a transgender past. I have a transitional past. So see,
they dig up your bones 100 years from now. They're gonna say man.
You're a man. So this is the thing. It's like, Matt, there are some truths that we have to have in this world. Yeah, the L, the G, and the B seem to be okay. It's the T that's starting to be.
It's the T.
It's starting to everybody start. Even the L and B are starting to get sick of the T.
Yeah, the L and B. Yeah, right. The L and B are getting sick of the T.
The L, G, and B are starting to get sick of the T.
They're like, wait a minute, what?
What? Because the truth is, to say you're gay, you have to acknowledge biology.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you'd just be sleeping with
men.
Well,
even to say you're transgender, you have to acknowledge biology.
Right.
Because you're saying that I'm not this thing. I am not this. I am not a woman.
Right. And then there's this non-binary thing where I say I'm not either.
Right.
Okay. And I fear for this next generation of people because.
And now they're opening it up to like little kids, like so I'm talking about 6. 7.
These are teachers. These
like
people are like
they're opening up this kind of idea. They're opening their minds up to this idea of it's okay if you because kids always change their mind daily at a certain age. They're different every day, and that was the point Matt was making. He's like, children make decisions.
Well, he has 4 of them.
Yeah, and he's like, he has 4 kids, and he's like every day there's something different. Every single day. He's like, so if you just give them the idea that if you give a little girl the idea that she could be a boy, she'll take it. Most little kids would just take what you say,
right,
and go with it. So now they're trying to give you the idea, put the idea in their head, and then that way they go, oh yeah, I do kind of feel like a boy. I did play with trucks that one day. I do. This is what we're doing now, you guys.
So Jericho Green made a good point. He was talking about Dwayne Wade's son or daughter, Zaire. Yeah, and he was saying that he said, look, if your kid is transgender, fine, okay. He said, but what if for some reason this kid decides because he's a child, decides he doesn't want to do this anymore,
right? And
you have made them the poster child
for
so now he feels obligated to never be anything but this idea that your parents have sort of constructed around you. And he was just saying that this is the thing, is that you can't give kids you can't give them permanent decisions when they're still in the development stage,
right? Because a lot of people now are detransitioning because they
no, they'll never do that.
a lot of people are speaking out. The ones that want to transition, they're saying at the time I transitioned, I was want to be part of a group. When you're part of them, you want to feel like you belong. A lot of these people are feeling like they didn't belong, or this is what they're saying. When you're not whole, you're trying to figure out who you are, and then these people come in and say this might be who you are. And you're already lost mentally. So it's just that you're already weak mentally. You're already very susceptible mentally. And someone gives you the idea that maybe it's because maybe you might be a guy. Yeah. Inside your heart, you might be a guy. And a lot of people who are lost will go with it. And they get a full-on transition.
And most young people are lost because they don't really know.
Yeah, it's true.
He had a transgendered man.
Yeah.
Matt interviewed
that
a
was a
transgender
good
man, and
part
the lady,
of it,
the man said that she was a lesbian, and then she started dressing more like a guy.
Right.
Then she said at 42 she transitioned into a man, and then she said that people aren't talking about the medical problems. And she said I probably won't even live because of the medical issues it took for me to transition into a guy. They don't tell you this before you do this transitioning thing. She said, but what I've come to find out though is that no matter how much I feel like a man, I will never ever be one. And now that I've transitioned myself and ruined my body, I wish I didn't do it. And she's like, and now they're she said they got me at 42. Your kids don't even have a chance.
Yeah.
But the suicide rate for transgender people is pretty high.
Yeah.
But the after they transition, it's still very, very, very high.
He said it's
like
in 7 years into the transition,
that's
where the suicide rate becomes very high. 7 years into being a transgender, not obviously not all transgenders, but that's when they become suicidal at that time, and that to me that's just very powerful because it's kind of like someone struggling with a really monumental decision.
Yeah, the lady that was the doctor.
Bad decision.
The lady that was the lady that was talking to them was the psychiatrist, and she said that body dysphoria is a real thing, and it's very hard because they just really don't.
Anorexic and bulimic.
So that was Matt's point. That was his next point. What if someone has anorexia? Because that's also body dysphoria. You know, when you ask an anorexic how they feel, they think they weigh 300 pounds. They can weigh 80.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so what do you tell them now? Are you just going to tell them it's okay, just be anorexic? Yeah, you are fat.
Yeah.
Are you just going to feed into the delusion?
Are you going to affirm them?
You know what I mean? How far do we go with this? We're over-sexualizing our kids, and we're making them confused about what it means to be an adult, what it means to be their sex, what it means to, to have something that's yours. It shouldn't always be on display.
This is a very the thing is that especially with transgender, it is a very small. Actually, the whole group, even drag,
group.
it's all a very small percentage group of people. So the fact that it has now spread quite fast.
The reason why we see more, I think, when it comes
to
gay people, the reason why we're seeing more gay people is because truly back in the 50s and 60s, it wasn't socially acceptable to be gay.
Right.
So I get that. There's probably going to be a lot more gay people out because now they have a space to be out. But you're not going to ever have me thinking that transgender. I'm just never going to believe that a transgender is something that's sweeping the nation.
Right.
That's just not.
Because I actually think that when gay people coming out of the closet, it's how it's happened, because before they were so in the closet, because it was very kind of dangerous to be out of the closet. But now the fact that they are out of the closet, I don't have a problem with that, mostly because a lot of gay men were getting married and trying to be heterosexual, and they weren't. They're gay. And so that created that at that time it created a huge group of down low men who were getting their gay fix, I guess you can say, in clubs or wherever they were going, and then coming home to their wives and having unprotected sex, a lot of them, and coming to their wives, and then this AIDS and all this was happening. So I think that I don't have a problem with that part of it, but I think that that just helped. If you can say who you are, then they can feel more comfortable in their life, and they don't have to do this down low thing anymore. But now with this transgender thing, so this is a separate thing. To me, this is totally different. It's not.
Nothing annoys me more than pronoun people.
Yeah.
I can't take that. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't. What are your pronouns? F you. That's my pronoun.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of my face with that shit. You know what I mean? Like, come on, cut it out. You know what I mean?
It's like you're trying to start something.
Get rid of the internet tomorrow, and this all goes away. Tell me.
People want
get rid of Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. All these little.
Yeah.
Get rid of all of them.
See how popular pronouns be then.
And it's over.
it
Nobody's calling
will not be
themselves
a
them,
thing.
they, none. This is all for show.
Yeah, it is.
And all of these celebrities that suddenly have non-binary kids. I mean, that lady, that executive from Disney, saying she has a pansexual daughter that's like 8. What are you talking about? That's not even puberty yet. You know what I mean? It's like you're talking about, what are you talking about?
There's a teeny tiny group of people where this is actually accurate. Teeny tiny. And now we have the vast majority. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. You know, and then when you have these discussions, see, this is the best part. This is the best part. All of a sudden, homophobic. Gay her. Hey,
but you gotta make sense to me.
Yeah.
You can't just give me information. You gotta make me. It has to make sense to me.
Yeah, make it make sense.
If it doesn't make sense to me, then it doesn't make sense to me. That isn't even, you know what I mean? It's just like Bill Maher was saying. It seems to be bi-coastal. It seems like if you live in New York or LA or one of these, then all of a sudden, he said, so it looks like LA's creating them, because you go to Ohio and nobody's doing that. Right. You know what I mean? And he's just like, so, it's
that's what's funny about what is woman is that was what we were so intrigued about with the African part. Yeah, what was interesting is that the tribal people, it was just so embarrassing because they were like, "What?" He's like, "What?" He says, "What do you think if a man? So if somebody thinks they're both?" He said, "Both man and woman." They were all laughing. They were like, "I don't think so." And I see the Hollywood agenda.
Yeah,
because we go ahead and Hollywood is. If anyone has a stake in this.
Well, they're pop culture.
They are. They frame minds. They mold minds. They shape the way we do things. Hollywood introduces us to stuff.
Pretty soon, one of those Kardashian grandkids is going to be transgender.
Oh,
and he's probably North.
Yeah.
They're gonna, you know what I mean? It's just the way it is. They're just going. Their kid all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's like a boy, a girl. I don't identify with anything. Okay. It's just like, okay, so you're nothing.
Yeah.
Social. I'm telling you, leave social media for a good 6 months and then go back on it, and you'll see all of your friends, even if you like them, they'll all be weird. Yeah. I'm just saying.
It's true.
I'm just saying, family members and friends. As soon as I go, I haven't been on there in so long. You not go on there. Yeah. And by the way, even if you go back on, then don't do it every week. Just go on like every 2 weeks.
And you're gonna see the insanity.
Little by little, you'll start seeing just like Betty White saw. What a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is a complete waste of time. You know what I mean? And so that's why I just don't go on it anymore. Yeah. Because I just think when I'm on Instagram, my brain cells just shrink, and then I go to Facebook, and I think, I'm done. Why am I here? Yeah. I gotta go.
Anyways, you guys gotta see the documentary. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll try to link it below that video that we saw. That's here on YouTube. That way you guys can see it. But it was a really excellent documentary. It just really something. And at the end, the best part, and we're gonna end it with this. At the end of it, Matt goes as his wife, and he says, like, honey, what is a woman? And then you had seen her through the whole movie, and at the end, she's like, it's adult human female.
It's adult human female.
Tell us what you think. Leave a comment below. Have you guys seen the documentary? Let us know what you thought about it. We would love to hear what you have to say. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next week. Everyone have a really good weekend. Bye.